evening race happening in Grand Rapids tomorrow is focused on mental health. Hope Network's 1 in 5 series honors the 1 in 5 of us who face a mental illness. Now, joining us now to talk more about this is Eric Wallenberg, the executive director of Hope Network, and he's here to tell us a little bit more about this event and the idea that came from it. So first, for those who don't know, what is the 1 in 5 series event?
So the 1 in 5 series started in 2016 as a way of honoring the people who live with mental illness. There's 1 in 5 individuals within America at any point in their lifetime will be diagnosed with a mental illness. And so we started this team marathon relay a number of years back. We have 5 runners that go out as a team. The first 4 runners do 5 miles, 5th runner does 6.2. All that adds up to 26.2 miles, which is marathon distance. And the one person going further represents and they honor those people living with mental illness.
And for those who might not be wanting to run, but they want to get involved, how can they help?
Well, they can go to 1in5series.com to get all the information for tomorrow. We still could use a handful of volunteers. There's a free community walk that kicks things off at 6:30. All ages, all abilities are welcome. They can go to 1in5series.com and get signed up for that. And then starting at 7 o'clock, there's a 10K hand cycle division, so people who want to take part in that way. There's a 5K that kicks off at 7:30, and then it moves into the team marathon and individual distances.
And with the heat being so high, are there any precautions that are going to be made? Because, you know, things are going to be a little different.
Yeah, we just saw the forecast. It's going to get a little bit spicy tomorrow night. People running through the trails, there's a lot of shade out there, so that's going to help a lot. We're going to have a lot of extra water. We've added a couple extra water stations to the course. Our friends at Metro Health, they're bringing extra misting fans. We'll have a ton of extra water, ice, everything that we can possibly to make things a little bit better. But we recommend people start hydrating now.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, it's a question I asked you off camera, but let's talk about it a little bit. We used to say committed suicide. The new term is died by suicide. And I think that change specifically is so important because it removes some stigma. Can you talk about that a bit?
Yeah, I mean, mental illness for a number of years in our society has always had a stigma around it. And it's not something just like catching a cold, you know, these aren't things that we control. So one of the things that the community has tried to really do is recognize that this is not something people who die by suicide, it's not a choice. It's not something that they decide that they're going to do. It's not an act that they're going to go and commit. It's something that they dealt with and they struggled with, and it's the cause of death. So that's something that as we're having events like this, trying to reshape the conversation, to break down some of the stigma, to get people to understand that everybody in their circle has a first-degree connection to somebody with a mental illness or mental health struggle. So we're here for them, and we're creating these safe spaces where people can come together, honor those people who may have been struggling or may struggle with a mental illness, and give them a safe space to connect with their own community.
Vulnerability is powerful, and I think that's always key to be able to share that. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. That race again tomorrow, the 1 in 5 series race.